What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Today, I'm super excited here to have Lille Gruber from Defeated Sanity. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the new album that's going to be coming out within a few weeks. That's the Chronicles of Lunacy, going to be coming out November 22nd via Season of Mist Records. Sorry, I have the cat here too, but she's good. Lily, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I've had a good practice and all, and I know that if that's the first thing I do in the day. Like I wake up at like 7 in the morning, and then I go practice like for 2 or 3 hours, and that kind of sets up the day. Like if that goes good, then I'm like I'm golden. Anything can happen after that.
Oh, absolutely, man. And 3 hours of practice is crazy, especially with your style of drumming, dude. You are an absolute just beast behind the kit.
Thank you.
I just saw you guys recently uploaded a playthrough for Accelerating the Rot. Kind of dive into it. It's the recent single off of the upcoming new album. It's easily one of the fastest songs that I've heard from you guys in a long time. Do you find this like sort of like a way to kind of challenge yourself in just your own drumming technique, or is it kind of just feel like sort of just rhythmic to kind of just go and just put something out like that?
I want to say everything. Every decision we make is more of like a musical decision. So maybe it's more like the latter thing you said, where we want to create a certain like I don't know, a style, and like the I I want to almost say the last album didn't really have much. Like you couldn't say it's all like it's a lot of blasting or whatever, about the sanguinary impetus.
Hmm.
The thing there was more like the experimentation and otherwise like riffs that you would have never heard before and stuff, like really weird new stuff. And now we still have that a little bit, but somehow I did want to, make it more like, the brutal death metal that kind of the underdog style of the latter half of the 90s and early 2000s. So yeah, that song in particular is it's almost like I feel like a sports guy that's trying to catch up with his best time. Like it's I can't nail that song every day for some reason at the moment, at least, like, and at least with practice, um, if the adrenaline comes in when you play live, it's probably easier than, you know, practicing it. But yeah, as you said, it's one of the most brutally fast, songs, when we're talking about the hands. Um, and yeah, drum wise, it's crazy, man. I sweat a lot doing that stuff.
It really shows in the video, the drum playthrough for that song. Just the pools of sweat coming down, and you are just laser focused and going between your high toms and your little 7-inch trash can snares. I love it. It
Yeah,
just shows the intricacy of you guys and what you guys do.
yeah. I've it's yeah, you said it.
So I want to touch a little bit about the Chronicles of Lunacy as a whole. What are some of the overall themes that you have for this album going in, or did this kind of feel like, business as usual with the band?
Um, if you're talking like lyrically, like the
Yeah,
themes,
yeah, on the based on some of the song contents, I guess you would say. Like was there any sort of messages that you wanted to talk about on the song, or any of the songs on the album?
yeah. For us, it's basically started with, where when you say business as usual, for us that must mean almost since the third album, each album we've put out was some kind of a concept album. And when we were going into this, we were like, maybe we should not make a concept album, just write about some crazy shit, you know. But for some reason, we started writing 2, 3 songs, and we did see some common ground that we could, you know, put it all under one hat in a way,
Hmm.
which was basically mental illness, you know, um, delusions and all that stuff, you know. So we that's why we call it Chronicles of Lunacy, where everything, you know, it's about everything that can go wrong with the brain, and then the stories about that, you know. So yeah, it's Order of Sanctity, for example, is just like about religious fanaticism, basically, where they, you know, where people fake having stigmata to seem like holy or something, you know.
Hmm.
Um, and then there's another song where there's a guy that wants to kill drug addicts, which is accelerating the rot. Um, and you know, and so on and so forth. It all has to do with the psyche, basically, and yeah, that's basically the theme of the album.
It's something not really talked a lot about in extreme music, usually with mental health. And I think expressing that through brutal death metal, specifically technical brutal death metal, if you want to add, we can add as many words onto it as possible. But I definitely think that
Yeah,
with this extreme metal as a whole, mental health really isn't talked a lot about a lot. And through this, through what you guys are doing, especially with how like I mentioned it before, how technically driven the band is, how, precise you guys are with your time signatures and your time changes, and just how everybody in the band is just incredible at their instruments, and is kind of be able to describe, I guess, the franticness, I guess you could say, of what mental
yeah,
health could be like, you know what I mean?
yeah. No, of course it fits. You know, I mean, even the name of the band is really describes the music, and it's you know, the idea was also first thrown out that this could be our self-titled album because it would have fit too.
Okay.
But yeah, in the end, we thought it was a little bit cheesy, so we decided not to do that. But yeah, I'm not so sure. Like, of course, a lot of I think quite a few bands have dealt a little with like with this theme, really. But maybe if we're talking about brutal death, it's brutal death is more about the you know
It's more
the
about like
carnal.
the actual doing
Yeah,
the actual thing, the killing, the slaying, the actual brutality, I guess, behind it. Not it's really the cause instead of like the effect after, I guess. When it comes
yeah,
like going
yeah,
through the traumatic experiences, brutal death metal could be seen as like the trauma itself.
yeah, yeah. It has never been too much of our thing because we've always wanted that like prog like thing, you know.
Hmm.
It's we've always liked this the prog thing and the brutal thing, so we've always been merging both things, but we're never into describing in 10 songs how you can fillet a human being, you know. It's just
You can only do it so many times.
not our thing.
So, do you have any personal favorites from this album that from the recent album that you're excited to kind of play live just based on like actually playing it? Like, do you feel like it's a more like some songs are more of a challenge to play live versus others, or do you feel like that some of them are just more funner, I guess, in a sense?
Hmm. Um, um, I don't know how, like, uh, to me, as I said, like, two of these songs are in a status where I'm like, every time the click goes off, you know, because I do practice with a click.
Hmm.
Live, we don't do a click. Um, every time that click goes off, I'm like, okay, let's see if I can do it today, you know? And it's funny enough, it's even songs that I already got through them in the studio. I played them 20 times in a row, and it worked. But yeah, accelerating the rod and Amputationsdrang. Uh,
Ambiance,
it's
that's how it's pronounced.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
German word.
I like that.
Um, um, those are really, really, really challenging. As for um, songs I'm really looking forward to playing, definitely is the last two on the album. They're just I don't know, especially condemned to
Mhm.
vascular famine. Um, that's just a very good song. It has a lot of different styles really combined into one song. So it's very proggy, then it's very groovy, then it's very grindy, really fast. It has everything, and I think it's the longest song maybe of the album. It's kind of like a epic, and yeah, I can't wait to play that one. But that being said, we're gonna play the whole album in its entirety. That's how it's gonna go down at, in 2024, but also I mean 2025 will be all the new album for sure.
Nice.
Anywhere we play, we want to present the whole album.
Okay. With that song in particular, Condemned to Vascular Famine, it's really one of my favorite songs, especially with the beginning of it. And I love how
Yeah,
it kind of transitions from a patriarchal pressure preserve. I think the song is called yeah, a
yeah.
patriarchal preserve.
Patriarchy perverse, yeah.
Yeah, and going into that sort of like the ending of that song into there with also just these incredible like fills and just like and you're really going in on the just the specificities, I guess, the specifics of the song. Um
Yeah.
very, very intricate. Was it kind of done on purpose to kind of go from uh a patriarchy into condemned to kind of have like a part one to two sort of fade into each other like that?
Um, yeah, because the thought pattern was basically we patriarchy basically ends with an open chord, and that's also it's always very you know it makes it pretty clear that it's the best thing you can do basically is just bleed into the next track, especially if it just starts with drums like that. So yeah, that was a conscious decision, really.
No, absolutely, man. It just goes beautifully together. Um, I want to talk a little bit about just some of the newer bands that are going on about because I know you guys have just been on an absolute tear with touring the past couple years. Really kind of post-pandemic. I know a couple years ago, you guys did a stack tour with Vitriol, Skeletal Remains, and there was another band on there. I can't remember it off the top of my head. That was in the
Uh,
US.
Splattered was
Splattered,
on that
that's
too.
who it was. Splattered.
Yeah.
No, that was a incredible tour, really great show. Tell me a little bit about like some of the modern, I guess, brutal death metal bands that are out there. Did you kind of seek sort of inspiration from them for when it comes to writing or recording anything? Seeing what kind of like the new kids are doing per se?
Um, to be quite honest, what the new kids bring is mainly speed, you know,
Hmm.
and I'm not super interested in, of course, yeah, it's like I'm struggling to play fast right now, so maybe it would be a good idea to work out a better technique to get faster and all that stuff. But I feel there's so many other musical things that I could be working on, which was also always the case with us. We haven't been working on speed that much. But anyways, yeah, young kids, when you see all the people applying for that Archspire job, it's like you just see, wow, like blasting like that isn't that crazy anymore. More people can do it than you think. So I, I almost feel do I don't know, do you have to stay sharp and try to match that tempo, or and it's also the feed too, everybody has a crazy fucking strategy to get the feed faster and faster. Um, you know, do I swim with that, or do I try to find new motives, like may they be as slow as part, like they could be super slow or could be super fast, but it's about interesting motives. That being said, like off the top of my head, like what I can think of is the most important thing that I always want to shout out is this kid Nick Heel, especially with his own project Anal Stab Wound.
Anal stab
That like it,
wound.
yeah, it's a stupid name, but it's a great, like you wouldn't expect from a name like that something that's so crazy. And that kid is, I think he might just have turned 18 or something, and he already is on, like, I don't know, 20 fucking albums, because he's so good. And now he has a full band. So that band, big hopefuls for me. What I like a lot is Cody Richardson from Sanguisa. He's got
Okay.
this Putrid Stew, this gore grind kind of
Yeah, yeah.
side project. I really like that, split with Peeling Flesh. I like that a lot. And I don't know. But in general, yeah, I see a lot of, slam and um, people are fast and they kind of match what, or even like uh, pass by what has been for the last decades when it comes to speed. But original riffs, I don't hear them so much, and to me it's a shame. Like if your shirt, it's all about riffs. When you listen to the Human album, it's
Hmm.
okay. Yeah, he plays fast double bass, but that's not really what makes that album. That album is made of great riffs. Then the vocals and the lyrics fit with that, and then you know, of course, there's great drumming. It's just about ideas,
Hmm.
and I don't find so many new bands that have ideas that keep me, you know,
Yeah,
that make
definitely.
me
That
want to
that's
listen.
no, that's fair. That you need to find something, unique because you are somebody who has a very keen ear for, musicianship and music theory in itself, I guess. What could you do differently when you're writing a song, especially with death metal, and people want to say, everybody does the same riffs, everybody does the same thing. It's already been done. But trying to break that mold with, I guess, originality through technicality is a very, very important thing. Definitely.
Yeah, I feel it's almost your only chance is to write weird stuff that hasn't been done yet. That was the reason for the last album, and kind of with the new album we kept that tradition. But I was very glad to have some ideas that are actually very catchy, very also kind of traditional. So I was surprised that I could still write a riff that is pretty, grounded in the typical death metal and not feel stale. Yeah,
Definitely.
that's what I'm very happy about with the new one.
No, absolutely. And it is filled with just these really punchy riffs and that are just layered over with I'm so sorry. I forget. I had the list up for the band members' names. It's goodness, Josh Welshman. His vocals on this are absolutely just insane on this. He's been absolutely killing it so far with this.
Yeah, I agree. It's his big thing on this record turned out to be basically in the studio. Like he was like, okay, let because these lyrics that we've written were really fucking good.
Hmm.
So let me try my best to have every word, you know, discernible while keeping the brutal guttural range, you know. So
Yeah.
that was his thing, and um, I hope it arrives at the people like that because I certainly hear everything he's saying.
Nah, absolutely. And it's very I'm just very excited for everybody to hear this record too. I love this just this kind of new edge of brutality to it. The album card, I'm looking at the album art for this as well. And it kind of just brings me back to the older album arts with these just kind of giant monstrosity creations of just body parts and gore around. It's
Yeah,
fantastic all around.
as so many times, you know, we were wondering which hot new artist could we use and stuff, and we tried to get a cover artwork done by somebody new, you know, but it didn't really work out, and we went back to John Zig, and you know, that guy doesn't fail, you know. So sometimes I'm even asking myself why do we always want to bring in somebody new because he's always murdering this job, you know. It's fucking amazing.
Nah, dude, it's gory. It's beautiful. And I love also just like the yellow golds in it too. It really kind of just brings it out so much more. It's darker feeling.
Yeah, it was also a conscious decision, you know, because we've never had that color in our discography. So we were like, let's try a thing like this, you know, kind of black cover artwork and then the yellow logo.
Oh yeah.
Totally dig it.
Super stylish, super it's ready for street, dude. It looks so good.
Yeah.
So kind of closing out this interview, recently you guys announced your tour dates coming up for 2025. So tell me a little bit about your upcoming Euro tour and UK tour that you guys are doing, and can we expect any other tour dates for the rest of the year?
Definitely. Um, but yeah, it's Europe. It was time to go back to Europe, you know, because we're, you know, I'm here in Berlin, and I never get to play this town, you know. So we were, I don't know, the last time we played Europe for real, like in a real tour, was the Incantation tour in 2019. So that's a long time ago, you know. And
That's a long time.
yeah, that's why we were like, and we played one US tour after the other, and then we were in Latin America, we were in Australia, we were in New Zealand, we were in all of Asia, we were in South Africa. Uh, so yeah, it's time. It's been time for Europe, so that's why we made Europe the first tour for this album. And we're there's Latin America is in the works, but like 100%. And then yeah, more towards the end of the year, we wanna definitely come back to the States too.
Always, definitely. Yeah, because you guys have been
Yeah.
playing like MDF, I think you played last year. And you had a couple off dates with Stabbing. That was a lot of fun. You had some stuff up in Brooklyn with them and up and down the East Coast. Nah, dude, you guys have been on an absolute just tear when it comes to touring, and we are a little spoiled over here when it comes to, you know, some of the bands and stuff that'll come and play the US, you know, 2 to 3 times a year and hit Europe maybe once. But and I do
Yeah.
like that it is nice, especially for you being from, you know, were you lived in Berlin your whole life?
I've lived in the south of Germany first, and then
Okay.
I moved to Berlin. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. But I guess it's still nice to kind of just be able to play home, every now and then.
Yeah, yeah. It's especially for me. It's it's a tour where I don't have to take a goddamn flight of 14 hours to start the tour. It's
Plus all the equipment
it's
too, loading and unloading from the plane.
yeah. I'm gonna play my drums. It's I can't wait.
Uh,
Asia was basically 17 airports in 30 days. So my strategy there was okay, I'm not a big pedal guy, My feet are like doing what they do, with any pedal really. So I
mhm,
said, okay, I'm gonna have someone lend me their pedals every day. So I played a different pedal every night, and I gotta say it wasn't too bad actually. It worked out every night, but a different drum set every night. Sometimes you don't have all the stuff you need.
mhm.
It's all cool. It's a cool adventure, but playing in Europe with all my stuff, I think it's gonna be a greater experience for me, and it's also that way gonna be a greater experience for the audience.
No, and you have such like an insane kit too. You have cymbals, splashes, high toms, proto toms, low toms, and like your kit is just, pardon me, your kit is just so just like detailed to like every piece on your kit has, a purpose with its songs. And being able to, I guess, share the kits with other people, being able to improvise with that live must be a little bit of a challenge probably, trying to figure out little sort of
Um,
things.
Honestly, I it's for me it's rare to play my kit, um, it- on tour because in Europe things go a little different anyways.
Hmm.
Like sound guys don't even let you bring in another drum kit. If there's like a local show or something, some people go, "Hey, so who's bringing the drums? Who's bringing the cabs?" Okay, and then you share. That's basically what you do. At least in Germany, that's what you do. When you come to the US, like there's like five bands and there's six drum kits.
Six drum kits for five bands is crazy. No,
That's how it
that's
feels like.
definitely. I mean, I get it. Everybody wants their own little thing to have to make people feel comfortable, but especially when you're on the road, I totally get it. If you gotta adjust to everything, you gotta kind of see how it goes. Roll with the ball.
Yep, yep.
Alrighty.
It's uh, it's a
So
skill, really.
definitely, and you are absolutely incredible at it, dude. Thank you again. Kind of close out the interview now. Thank you again for this time. We're here to talk to me a little bit about this new album. If there's anything you want anybody to know, anything that where anybody can find you online, like on socials, or want to do any little last minute plugs for yourself, if anything projects you have coming up.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, what's very interesting to know is, I mean, people can find our Instagram, I'm sure, like all that stuff. But for some people, it might be interesting. I have a Patreon.
Okay.
It's www.patreon.com then slash Lille Gruber, and
Okay.
that's my own Patreon, and that's where I basically give video lessons. It's no bullshit of me like just walking around Berlin or whatever. It's like I work on it hard to get out drum lessons and guitar lessons actually, and it's all revolved around Defeated because my my main job is just a teacher for like general music, mostly for kids, and
Okay.
beginners and stuff like that. So I just and then there's so many people that really want lessons from me where I just can't squeeze them in all the time. So I decided to make these video lessons so everybody can pay uh, 10 euros a month if you're a guitarist or 10 if you're a drummer, and then you have a tier that's 20 for both instruments if you're really interested. But yeah, it's about like I don't know how many videos are on there, maybe 150 or more. Like
Jesus.
if that's what I basically want to promote here a little bit
No,
because
of course, dude. Whatever helps, man. It helps pay the bills, and it doesn't. I like it's a different thing that you have going on the side too. Not many people want to always focus on the album and stuff like that, but I had no idea you had a Patreon though. And everybody,
yeah,
go on Patreon, support Lily here,
yes, fuck
please.
yeah, absolutely. And then yeah, I don't know. You said projects. When we're done with this album, I mean, we're gonna tour our asses off for sure, trying to get everywhere. But then we've got I don't know if you've heard that we've had this split with ourselves, the Disposal of the Dead and Dharmata split. We're
Hmm.
gonna do it. I don't know when it is coming, but I know compositionally it's pretty much done. We're gonna do a full album with the Dharmata style, which is very reminiscent of the shirt you're wearing and like
Nice, nice.
Watchtower and Cynic and all that stuff.
I love that, dude.
So yeah, so that's coming. That's for where I'm pretty sure that's the next thing that's coming from us before we release another Defeated Sanity album.
No, dude, that sounds incredible. I'm actually really excited for that. Dharma's one of my personal favorites from the discography.
Sick.
Yeah, just to also because I'm a collector and I like to show things off, I have to show off my little beautiful six cassette copy of the current discography that is of Defeated
Oh yeah,
Sanity.
sick.
One of the limited ones. I had to pick it up while you guys were in the States a few years ago. But
Fuck yeah.
I'll be able to now I will add the new one when I get it on cassette, Chronicles of Lunacy, and I'll add a little extension to that.
Maybe it will be another six cassette set six cassette set is coming. I don't know if we survive that long, but yeah, maybe we'll try.
Definitely, man. Well, Lily, I know it's late. It's probably like 10 o'clock at night where you're at about now, probably. Thank you for,
Almost. Yeah.
yeah. Thank you for taking the time, out of your day. I know it's probably been a long day for you getting ready with the album and just promotional stuff and all that, but I really wanted to say thank you for taking the time to come here on here and talk to me a little bit about the album.
Oh
Everybody
yeah.
here, make sure you go pick up the new Defeated Sanity records, Chronicles of Lunacy, coming out November 22nd via Season of Mist. And if you're in Euro or UK, get your tickets for the Chronicles of Lunacy tour. That's going to be featuring the Violently Vomit, the Violently Vomit, Putrepile, and a plethora of other supports on here that I cannot read because it is not legible to me.
Yeah,
But
it is. Yeah, embryonic development, iniquitous savagery, asylum, and
Strange
oh no, now
Wire,
I'm being
Stranglewire.
stranglewire. Yeah,
Okay, I
those
was
are
able to make that
the
one
other
out.
four ones.
Um,
Awesome.
yeah, man. Thank you guys again for watching. Lily, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Can't wait to hear the new album for everybody. So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Check out Lily's Patreon as well. And I'll see you guys very soon in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.